Anyone who ended up being a fan of the Doors would have to attest. First time you hear Jim Morrison's voice over the backdrop of that music was, I don't know, life-changing might be a bit of hyperbole, but almost life-changing.
1967 was the year where it all started for rock. We had Sgt. Pepper, we had the Velvet Underground and Nico, and we had the Doors' first album. Now, the Doors have often been linked in with the Jefferson Airplane as the flag wavers of the West Coast counterculture. So the first album was obviously very important and one where they really wanted to make a mark. It's interesting that they actually recorded it in 2 weeks, and they recorded it with a producer that they hadn't met before, a guy called Paul Rothchild, who produced all but one of their albums. Turned out to be a marriage which Elektra Records made, but it was one that was made in musical heaven.
Break On Through is the first song on the album. Any Doors fan, or true Doors fan, will tell you that this is the true essence of the Doors. It was Break On Through that led them to the Doors name.
They figured that they were the doors of perception, which linked the known and the unknown. So breaking on through had a very specific meaning. Break on through to the other side. Go through the doors from the world that you know, the world that you're certain of, to an exciting world of possibilities. So Break On Through, while not perhaps their best known track, was one that was quite significant for them.
I actually played with a band in the early 90s. And live it went down a storm. The crowd used to love it. Probably because it was a Doors tune, but one thing that the Doors had that was exciting was they were really good live, and they were exciting live with Jim's performance. And the songs were sort of structured for live performance, I feel, in many ways. And when I used to play it with the band, as I said, it went down a storm. It was good fun to play, simple, but very effective.
Break On Through, that was a song that the Doors performed a lot in the bars. And it's got a neat beat to it, very different.
The drummer opens with a slight jazz riff. In comes the keyboards, kind of accenting with the drummer. To make that a little bit thicker, the guitar player mimics the keyboard player. Suddenly the song is starting to swell. It's waiting, and then all of a sudden a strange sound, like a moaning guitar or a moaning bass sound, just kind of goes in and out, kind of just making that sexual throbbing sound, and then the voice. Absolutely incredible. What a great way to open an album.
1967, The Doors' debut album, self-titled, starts with a 2.5-minute song called Break On Through. 2.5 minutes of perfection. What a way to introduce side one of a record from The Doors.
That was the one song that Elektra was really pushing as their first single. So the first time that they did a tour up and down the coast here on the West Coast, that was a song they played a lot, and that was the song that they were pushing. And it did get a lot of radio airplay, but it wasn't until Light My Fire came out that's when everyone started taking notice of the Doors. But it's a really good song, and it's a great way to lead off the first album.
Break On Through was the first song on the album, and it really established the Doors as a non-flower power band. Many of the bands in the 60s, the Summer of Love was 67, were all about flower power, and this song was about a new journey. Many Doors fans know that a lot of their music was based on William Blake's poetry, his perception of going through doors to find out what's on the other side, which the Doors did. They did not want to follow the natural ways they should be doing things. They were non-government, non-conformists, and going through the door led their path, and that was about break on through to the other side of the door.
You know the day destroyed a night, night divides the day. Tried to run, tried to hide, bring on through to the other side, bring on through to the other side, bring on through to the other side. Yeah, chase don't play all here.